Hey everyone, Shabby Gamer here, and welcome back to another episode of our Gibraltar Challenge. And this episode, which is going to be our Champions League qualifying second round matches against Maribor once again. We got them last year, we got them again this year. But first things first, let's have a look through our transfers. Now, these are the ones that I'm currently working on at the moment. We've got Arnaldo Jobello, who looks like a pretty decent player. Doesn't really want a lot monetary-wise, so we thought we'd bring him in. Kleber Mendez, basically this is a bit of a random one. I just found a couple of players in the Ecuadorian under-20s, and I thought to myself, if they're in the Ecuadorian under-20s, they must be pretty decent. So I've got no idea how good these players actually are, but again, they're on really, really low sort of wage anyway, so if they come in a couple of years' time and they're absolutely terrible, I'll just release them. But I thought I'll probably just grab a hold of them now, just in case they do end up being pretty decent. Mick Rose, really good-looking actual right-back, actually, so he looks like a decent player for us. And then we've got Craig Williams as well, who looks like a pretty good sort of attacking midfielder. He's got some good stats here and there. He doesn't want a lot of money as well, so again, it's just a nice little player to help back up the squad. And he's been released from Stoke, a Premiership side, so he can't be too bad either. Players we already have brought in, if we go down the list, we've got a great goalkeeper here in Bruno Ramito, an Australian player. He's been playing for the Centre of Excellence down in Australia for a good few years now, and he's finally been released. And yeah, we brought him in. See how well he gets on. The scouts and the coaches love him, as you can see. Next, we signed Monserration. I think that's how you pronounce it. Monserration Marlon Manning. Looks like a pretty good player. And again, the coaches absolutely love him. He's got some pretty decent stats about him. Hopefully, he's going to do pretty well. A couple of younger players now. We've got Anders Broger, who's a young Danish player. Again, he's got really good mental attributes and some pretty decent technical ones as well. Nothing above 10 as of yet, but he's only 16 years of age. He's only on £55 a week, so we'll bung him in the reserves and see if he develops. If he does, then great. We've got ourselves a great player. Along with him, he's further down the list, is he? Okay, he's further down the list. We'll go to this one first. This is Mario Simoes, who's a French left-back. Again, looks like he's got really good potential according to our scouts. Current ability is okay. He's going to be fighting out with Baxter at left-back to get some time on the pitch, but he's come from Metz, so again, another pretty decent looking player. Jim Morrison, just for the rock aspect, and also, of course, his stats. Look at that. He's got 12, 13, 11 in the Holy Trinity. Some really good mental attributes and some good physical attributes as well. He's a very, very good defender. We've got Cristobal Jimenez, who a player we put on the shortlist last season. We finally managed to bring him in, young Spanish striker, and I wasn't too sure if I was going to get him or not because his stats are okay, but I found some better ones. But then I looked at the players, looked at the teams that are interested. And you look at some of these, and some of these are Liga BBVA teams. So he must be a very good player if he's got some of these big clubs looking at him. Next on the list, we've got Chris Morgan, another player from the Australian Centre of Excellence. And again, look how good his stats are. 19 years of age, playing for the under-20s Australian side. I think he's going to be a really good signing for us. We've got Brando Requena. Now, this is a player I'm very, very excited about. 18-year-old Peruvian player. Really good stats at the moment. I wonder how good he's going to get in the future. He looks like someone that we're going to make some wedge off him as well, really. Jens Hogard. This is the other Danish player we brought in. Another 16-year-old. Pretty decent stats for his age. For a striker. Again, we'll put him in the reserves for a little bit and see how he gets on. But he'll probably get some first-team football as well, so we've released quite a few players. Eric Velez, we've got this guy on loan for this season. He looks like a pretty good player. He's played quite a bit of football for Nastic, who I've got no idea who they are. They're in the Spanish second division. Okay, that's not too bad. 18 goals and 68 appearances for them, but they've got him out on loan. Looks like a pretty decent player, actually. I'm looking forward to using him. Roberto Otero, not quite sure how good this guy is, but we've got him on loan anyway for the season from Getafe. So he should be a good player if he's from Getafe. He's got some pretty decent stats, so we'll have to see how we get on. Not playing a lot of wide player formations, but if we do, he'll definitely be involved. And we've got Nick Heighton, another centre-back. Again, some really good stats, good heading, good marking, decent tackling as well, get that up a little bit, and some other good, really defensive stats. As you can see, we've released quite a lot of players as well. Some ones that really just were a little bit surplus to requirements. Some big names in there as well. Warren Hockty we only brought last year. Jimenez we brought last year as well. Benitez we've had since the very beginning, but he never really got into it. Hulk Montegrifo. Hulk we've had since the very beginning as well. He's been very good for us. Tristan Sargent, just couldn't find the space in the team for him now. Jack Peachman as well, another young player we've had for a while. Liam Joyce, the young centre-back again. Barry Green, our reserve goalkeeper. Isaac Cortez. Matindo, we've released him twice now in his career. I bet if he's not going to come back to us again. But I thought the best thing about this was a lot of these players are really good players. I didn't really want to have to let them go, but I thought releasing them and allowing some of the other teams in Gibraltar to pick them up would be the best thing. So if we look at Tristan Sargent, for example, he's not been picked up as of yet, but I'm sure he'll be signed up by one of the other clubs in Gibraltar. There's no reason why not. He's a fantastic player, and I'm pretty sure it'll be the same for most of these guys. So yeah, that's enough of me blabbing on. Of course, we do have these 2 matches coming up against Maribor. We do have a friendly in between, which I'm going to cancel because I don't want our players to be unfit. So yeah, that's going to be interesting. I wonder if we can do a little bit better this season now that we've managed to to sort of strengthen our team. If we look at the tactics wise, we've got a few new players. Not a lot in there really, but we've got a few new players, a few on the bench as well. I did try and have a friendly match a couple of days ago to try and build up some of the match sharpness, because a lot of these younger players, or the new players, sorry, have got a really low match sharpness, but it seems to have backfired to the fact that some of our players are not fit now. But I think we've got a day or so. We've got a day or two? No, it's actually today. Oh, bugger. Okay. Well, let's get into that match against Maribor anyway. And here we go. And as you can see, the odds are actually very, very similar. They're favourite to evens, and we're just outside at 11 to 5. Of course, for those of you that aren't very good with odds, 10 to 5 is even. So we're literally just ever so slight outsiders, according to Sky Bet anyway. So be interesting to see what happens. We are playing a bit more attacking this year than normal. This is the team we're going to go with. We're going to go with Ramito in goal for his debut. Of course, he has already played in a friendly match against our reserves. And left back, we've gone with Samoes. I'm not quite sure how you pronounce that, but Mario Samoes. Pretty decent player, but Baxter's not 100% fit, so we thought we'd bring him in. We've got Maguire at centre-back. Alongside him, of course, we have Steve Cooper. With Ashley Riley still at right-back. We're not playing a lot of our new players this game, because again, they're not quite 100% fit. We've got Manning at defensive midfield, who's a very, very good player. We've got Foster in centre-mid. Of course, now because all these players are full-time, they're gonna get a lot better now, I think, as well. Their stats are going to start to go up to where they should be. Frank Evans with his 43 caps for the national side now. Scott Ellis, a player who's been in and out of the squad, played 18 games his entire career, came through the youth academy 6 years ago. And a strike force making their debut. We've got Cristobal Jimenez, a young Spanish striker. And we've got our lone striker as well, Eric Velez. So both these players together, I think, are going to be quite formidable, and I would love to get a couple of goals here at home. That would really help us out. If we can not lose, that would be fantastic. Right, now I seem to remember Mark last year was just a right pain in the backside, so I want to tackle Mark hard. And I want to put him on his weak foot, because he is just a problem for us last year. So, let's get into it. Let's see how we can get on here against Maribor. Let's tell them to avenge what happened last year. That sounds good. Let's go for it. Let us go for it. Come on, guys. Come on. A good result here could really just make or break our season. This is our first match as a professional team. Let's prove it. Let's go out there and show them why we are professional now. We're getting dominated on possession, but we are getting a little bit back into it now. Oh, it's Mark. Come on, get the ball off Mark. We don't want him to have the ball. He's a right pain in the backside. So they're going to get a highlight early on, which generally means they'll score, which is a bit of a shame. Oh, that was a great little bit of play, but Ramito, our brand new Australian goalkeeper, with a save. We are notoriously very, very bad at set pieces compared to some of these clubs. But a good header clear by Foster. It's picked up by Frank Evans, and is there a counter-attack on here? Evans sees the run of Jimenez, and all of a sudden we are breaking, but Jimenez is going very, very slowly here. Plays it across, and it's been cut out. Come on. Come on, Jimenez. That's not a very good start to your Europa Point career. Right, so they're pinning us back possession-wise. Can we turn it around a little bit, maybe? Just that we're getting a bit more possession now. Be nice to have a shot. They've had 3 shots so far to our 0. Be nice if we can get a shot. Of course, our best player on the pitch at the moment is our goalkeeper, which sort of gives us an indication of just how well we are playing. Half an hour in, and it's still 0-0. If we can get 0-0 here and go to their place at 0-0, I'd be very happy. because our players will be a bit fitter next game. We can play a few more of our newer players next game. Sorry, we've only got 3 on. We've got 5 on the pitch at the moment. Sorry. And there we are, half time at 0-0. That's pretty good, actually. We might have to bring on a couple more of our new players in the second half anyway, because some of these players are struggling. Players like Steve Foster there, for example, he's struggling fitness-wise. So who can we bring on for him? There isn't anyone really, is there? Yeah, let's still stick with Avenge because that seems to be working. Do I want to make a change? Do I want to bring on Conroy maybe, or do I want to bring on McDonald in place of? Let's bring on McDonald in place of Foster because I don't really want Foster to get injured. Jimenez is not really having a very good game, but we'll keep him on for now, and then we might have to bring on Michael Luke pretty soon. I'm hoping this Cristobal Jimenez ends up being a very good player because I've been talking about him for a couple of years now. I've had him on the shortlist waiting to try and sign him up. We finally got the opportunity here this season. And you know what? We're coming up to the hour mark and I'm thinking, do we change it and risk destroying the balance which we've already got, or do we stick with what we got and just see if we can hold out and keep the game at 0-0? This is pretty good so far. We're at the hour mark, so let's... Oh, is that a highlight? I'm going to take off Cristobal. And maybe bring on Morrison in place of Maguire as well. Just for fitness purposes. Oh, we've scored! We've scored! Well, I was making substitutions and we scored! It's Velez! Oh, Velez, the player on loan. Oh, what happened there then? So Jimenez got the ball. Played it through the legs of one of the defenders and... Oh, Velez. What a finish that is. Now, what do we do now? Do we try and play a bit more defensive, or do we continue the way we are? At the moment we're winning. So do we continue on the way we are? Oh, God. Please, come on, guys. Come on. Oh, we've got a throw in as well. Can we make it 2-0? Velez is on the ball. That's a penalty ref. Oh. I was a bit holding out for a hero there, I think. Oh, they're on the counter-attack. They're on the counter-attack. No. Don't concede now. We've got some players behind the ball. Come on. Oh, it's off the angle and Cooper clears it. Oh, God. I think let's go to counter-attacking now. And see if they do come to attack us, we can try and catch them on the break. So Jimenez has gone off. We brought on Michael Luke as his replacement. Michael Luke is not actually that much fitter, is he? If we can walk out of here with a home win against Maribor, that away leg, you just never know what could happen in that away leg. But it could be the first time we make it through to the third qualifying stage of the Champions League, and that would be huge for us. Absolutely huge. Come on, guys. Come on, we can do this. Just hold on. Just hold on right. But let's get contained now because we do not want to concede an away goal because that would really just... That would really destroy us. If we can go to their place with a 1-0 win and no away goal... Oh, they've got a corner! Oh, really? Oh, you absolute bunch of bastards. I am so disappointed. Literally 10 seconds left. Who are you? Ellis just stood there doing nothing. Oh, that was awful. I am so disappointed with that. I can't believe we gave away the away goal. Oh, God. That's a shame. That really is a shame. Right, so it's 1-1. It's not too bad. We're going to go back to their place at 1-1. But I would have much rather a better result than that. That's disappointing. For a great goal by Velez to be let down by some of the other players, especially you, Ellis. You're not playing the second leg because that was terrible defending. Well, that's not too bad. I would have taken a 1-1 draw if you offered to me at the beginning of the match. But to tell the truth, after seeing the possibility of maybe going and getting a 1-0 win, I'm very, very disappointed with how this has ended. But anyway, let's go on to the second leg and see if we can pull it off. See if we can really just scrape out with this one. And here we go for the second leg. And as you can see again, it's very, very close odds-wise. Although this Slovenian football review, I reckon it's going to be very much in favour of Maribor. I suppose they would do. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one, this. We need to score an away goal now because they scored the away goal. We've just kept the same formation, obviously, because it worked. Changes wise, we brought Baxter back in at left back in place of the new French guy. Baxter, I think at the moment is still our strongest. We brought Morgan in at defensive midfield for his debut. He wasn't 100% fit in the last game. Now he's getting close. His match sharpness is still not very high, but I think he's still going to be a very good player for us either way. Requena comes in to make his debut as well, the young Peruvian player. Again, a very, very good player. Hopefully he can really help us out. And we've dropped Jimenez and we brought in Michael Luke to see if Michael Luke can have one of his good games. I'm hoping he can. I'm hoping he can. But again, good condition, good match sharpness. That's one of the main reasons for that one. And Velez, of course, our goal scorer, keeps his position in the team. They've stuck with their 4-4-2 as well. Again, is Mark not... Oh, Mark's playing at left midfield now. Oh, this is getting dangerous now. Mark's playing at left midfield. So let's just take Mark out whenever we can. And let's go for it. Let us go for it. We've got a few new players on show again here this evening. Let's tell them to show us what they can do, which has motivated some of them. But let's go passionate and tell them we believe them, they've got what it takes. And hopefully that'll get a few more players on side with us. Some more greens in there. And it has so far. And this, oh God, this game is so important to me. It really is. I really want to get through to the third qualifying stage of the Champions League for the first time. It would be such a big thing for us. We've finally gone professional after a lot of hard work. 7 seasons it's taken us to get to professional status. Now we've brought in quite a few new young players, and I'm just hoping that we've not brought too many players into the squad at the same time that we're going to ruin the balance, and it's going to take them a while to get used to playing with each other again. What am I doing here? What am I doing here? I'm just in mentalities. So at the moment we've actually had a shot and they haven't. Maybe I should go for a little bit more, not fluid, but let's go flexible. So we're a bit more in position where we should be. At the moment we've had 2 shots to their 0. If we can just score a goal, we'll just sit back and contain for the rest of the game. And I think we could do that, but at the moment you know what, we've got more shots than them. We've got 1 on target as well. Come on guys, just get that 1 goal. That 1 goal is just all we need. We don't want to go out here on goal difference because that would be so annoying. So you've done really, really well. I'm pleased with how things are going. Strikers, we believe you've got what it takes because we really want a goal from you guys. We really do. I don't want to have to change formation if I don't need to at the moment. It's looking pretty good, you know. 1-1 draw from the first leg. I'm just gutted we conceded that header in the last minute. But we've had the most shots in this game so far. I think they're going to catch us up now, aren't they, on shots-wise, though? But again, they're dominating possession. We've committed 20 fouls. They've committed 0. That's a little bit interesting. We're going to have to make a substitution. I think Requena is struggling a bit energy-wise. So he might have to come off. Who we got on the bench to try and spark this up again? We've got Manning, who made his debut last week. Let's bring him on. And do we look at bringing on Jimenez at some point? Michael Luke is not playing well either, so let's bring on Jimenez, who did link up really well for Velez for the goal. And I just wonder whether that 2 substitutions might just, hopefully, just twist this back in our favour. Just that 1 goal. If we can just steal 1 goal, that's all we need, lads. Just 1 goal. Can I do like I don't normally do these, but. John Morrison's picked up a knock. Oh yeah, we're playing John Morrison this game as well. For his debut. He's a really good centre-back, he is. Got some really good stats. We're up to 70th minute now. And yeah, we're not conceded. We've had 5 shots, 2 on target. I really don't want to go out of this one on blimmin' away goals. That would be so annoying. We've got Ashley Miller. We can bring Miller on in place of Evans, who's struggling. Let's just do that, and as an advanced playmaker for the last 10 minutes. See if we can spark it into life and get that extra goal. We've got to go for it now. We've got to go for it. We've got to go overload. We've got to score that goal. Come on, please, please, please. We've had 7 shots, 3 on target. Just one needs to hit the back of the net. Oh, we're going to get knocked out on away goals. That is so depressing. Oh, God. Well, it was just that poor defending by Ellis in the first leg that just let us down, hasn't it? That's a shame. That is a shame. Well, guys, that is the end of this episode. I hope you have enjoyed it. It's disappointing that we've been knocked out on goal difference out of the Champions League. We had such a good chance to go through to the third qualifying stage this year, but it wasn't to be the case by the looks of it. If you have enjoyed it, then please do hit that like button. And, of course, if you're new around here, be sure to hit subscribe for a lot more of the Gibraltar Challenge. I've been Shabby Gamer. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. And here we go with the second leg. Of course, 1-1 at home. They have the away goal, so we have to score in this second leg. Odds, again, are quite even, and we'll see how that sort of pans out on the pitch, I suppose. If we have a look at their formation, they're playing a very attacking one now. They're playing a 4-2-1-2-1 formation. And they've got Mark at attacking left midfield, which is not good for me because I hate that man so much. We're not gonna type Mark him because that will cause problems for the rest of our team. So let's do that. We're going to play the trusted 4-4-2 formation, and we've got some debuts in there now. What have I done that for? We've got Baxter's playing for his first game this season. He's coming in to replace our French left back. I can't remember his name is Samoes, who got obviously suspended in the first leg. We've got Jim Morrison. He's going to make his first start today. He came on as a sub in the last game. Brando Requena, our Peruvian player, fantastic player, he's playing. On loan, left midfielder Roberto Otero comes into play. And Michael Luke comes back in up front to replace Eric Velez, who I'm not quite sure why I did that. I think I actually meant to take off Jimenez, but I must have dragged and dropped the wrong player. So, a little bit annoying. Let's see if we can fix this because I wasn't paying attention. I pressed I expect a win, and we've got some reds in there. But yeah, we're playing 4-4-2. See if that makes any difference. We're gonna. Why do I keep doing that for? We're gonna play it structured and maybe standard. I want to try and make sure we don't get overwhelmed on possession, which is something that generally happens quite a bit on this. It's a little bit of a shame. Well, we are at 6 minutes. We haven't conceded yet, which is good. We have a 27% of possession, so we're getting back up that now as well. Be interesting to see how Michael Luke gets on because he's very hit and miss on this game at the moment. He'll have a really good game or a really bad game. He has no in between. It's a deep free kick. These are the ones that always seem to cause problems to us. And it's a brilliant save by Ramito, but it was about 10 yards wide when he edged it off the pitch. Mark's corner. It's gone away to the far post, and Weghorst heads it in. And we are losing 2-1 here against Maribor on aggregate. So we still need to score one goal at least anyway to keep this tie going to extra time, but I did not want to concede that goal. It's disappointing, really. There it is. At the back post all alone. Our defence still leaves a lot to be desired. We have brought a couple more really good defenders in since the last episode, which we'll have a look at in the next episode, I suppose. We'll probably have a look through all of our transfers again when we start the next episode, because that'll be more or less the end of the transfer window. I don't think there's anyone else in the pipeline to be brought as of yet. Might be one or two others being looked at. Maybe another couple of wingers, maybe just to try and give us a little bit of a difference when we look at changing up positions. As they're on the attack once again. I don't want to get embarrassed here. We want to try and make sure that we can get back into this one. I don't like the way they're playing so attacking in this game. I was hoping they'd try and sit back and protect the away goal lead, but it's not been the way. It's a good save by Ramito. And this new Australian goalkeeper could really be a saviour for us this season. I think he's going to need to be. I think we're going to have to take one of our strikers off, you know. We've had one shot on target, actually, all of a sudden. But I think we might have to just drop back and just try not to have... We're just getting overwhelmed on possession, and I think having an extra midfielder back there might help us out. I think the way that they're playing, I think we might have to have another defensive midfielder. Then again, we're getting back into this one by the looks of it. 2 shots, 2 on target, and we're slowly getting that possession back up to a more even amount. We're going to go to half-time at 1-0 down. That's not too bad. We still need 2 goals to turn this match around. So we can still win this match. And let's give them some reinforcements, some positive reinforcements. Get everyone on the greens. Michael Luke's in deep thoughts. He needs to realise that he needs to start playing better. He can't just score a hat-trick every 6 games and feel like he's a really good player. He needs to be consistent. Come on, guys. Just that one goal would make this game level again. He's going to keep it... Oh, he couldn't keep it in. It's a shame because he was in a lot of space there if he could have kept it in, Otero. So we're going to have to try and figure out how to change this. We're going to have to try and make sure we don't get overwhelmed, but at the same time, try and make ourselves more attacking to the point where we might be able to score a goal. And well, who knows, we might be on the attack here. No, he loses the ball and marks on it, which is never a good sign. Come on, get the ball off him. Go on, get the ball off him, Morrison. Morrison's been absolutely mugged off there. And he's just stood there in the middle of the pitch, not got back in position. We're short of a centre-back as this ball comes into the middle of the area. And Brewman heads it in. Where was Morrison at the end? Morrison was there. Just caught out of position. It's very disappointing. And we're losing 2-0. Right, well, there's always next year, I suppose. There's always next year. It's been a good one for us. We would have built our reputation up a little bit, I suppose. I can't see us scoring 2 goals in the last half an hour. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? We've got no real left attacking players, have we? We're gonna bring you into there, push you up to there, bring you back down to there. Gonna have to bring on Chris Morgan for his debut in. Why did that not work? Chris Morgan for his debut in there. Foster's going to have to come off and we're going to bring on Manning because I don't want Foster to get sent off. Frank Evans, you're going to be our... Everyone's very defensive, aren't they? Shadow Striker. And then Michael Luke, I'm afraid you're just not at the sort of quality we're going to need this season, I'm afraid. So you're going to be a poacher. And we'll see if these little changes have changed anything for us. Trying to make things a little bit more aggressive, but at the same time not risking conceding any more goals, because we do definitely need to score. There's no doubt about that. We have to score. Oh, God's sake, we need to score twice, don't we? So let's go to attacking because we've got 20 minutes left and we need to go for it, really. And they've got another free kick from out wide. We're giving away so many fouls. That's really... what I think one of the main things we've suffered from in the last couple of games in this year's Champions League is just giving away so many fouls. But I think give it a year with all these guys to get a bit of experience of playing on the same team as each other and some more experience with just in football in general, and hopefully it'll boost them all up. And playing full time as well for for all of these players, playing full time is going to be their first season, so that should really help to build the squad up to a point where we can start to challenge against teams like Maribor. Because at the moment we've been embarrassed 2 years in a row now. Well, not necessarily embarrassed. We've really put on a good show, I suppose, both years. We could concede here, but... oh, off the crossbar. But considering we've been playing overload for the last 20 minutes, it's not too bad if we do concede, because I'm surprised we haven't conceded yet, to tell the truth. Is that going to be all? It looks like it is. A 2-0 loss at Maribor. Not the worst result in the world. They were the favourites to win, in all fairness, so it's not a major problem. But I would have liked to have pushed them a bit closer this year. Last year we lost 2-1 on aggregate. This year we're going to lose 3-1 on aggregate. And for some reason we are time wasting. I don't understand that whatsoever. But there we go. That's the end of the game. So we're out of the Champions League once again. Not a major surprise, I suppose. I'm not happy with the result. Let's do that. And it seemed to have fired up quite a lot of players anyway, so that's pretty good. Seems to have annoyed him. Let's just say you were unlucky. That's not going to work, is it? Okay. Well, it seems to have fired up quite a lot of our players anyway, so in the next episode when we come back to play off for the Pepe Reyes Cup and we come back to start our league campaign, hopefully we will be able to start off with flying colours. I can't imagine that any team inside Gibraltar is going to really compete with us this season with all our new players, especially once we get them all up to match fitness. These players are going to be absolutely lethal. Well, that is going to be the end of this episode then. Let's get into the little bit here. As you can see, we would have played off against Sparta Prague, who won I think they won the first leg 4-0 against Shamrock Rovers. We probably would have been knocked out there anyway for definite, but it would have been nice to get there for the first time. Yeah, I hope you have enjoyed this episode. If you have, then please do hit that the like button. It does help me out. And of course, if you are new around here, be sure to subscribe for a lot more of the Gibraltar Challenge. I've been Shabby Gamer, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all next episode for the Pepe Reyes Cup and the beginning of season number 8, our first professional season.